Howdy, howdy, friends and fugitives of fashion. Welcome back to Radio Farside, deep in the jungles of Java, where the skeeter's free, the porch lights still mean company's welcome. And if you don't like what I'm saying, bless your heart and pull up a chair and enjoy a mint julep anyhow. Now, a few weeks back, we rustled up a ruckus over architecture, and lo and behold, someone wrote in saying their office was in the Esperson buildings down in Houston. Fancy digs. I tell you, that place is more ornate than a wedding cake in a windstorm. Got me thinking, how in the high, holy name of air conditioning did we get from front porches and dog runs to gated boxes with panic rooms and flat screens bigger than our futures? So today we're taking a little mosey down memory lane. Architecture style. Saddle up. Before we get too far afield here, Radio Farside is a labor of love. We don't use those highfalutin paywalls. But if you feel moved to drop a tip in our jar, see the links down below. Now back to jawboning. Back in the day, when folks still knew how to write cursive and milk a cow, the family homestead came with two buildings, the house and the shed. Now that shed, that was the Swiss Army knife of shanties. It held the wagon, the horse, half the tools, and probably two cousins that didn't pay rent. Upstairs was the hayloft, basically the Airbnb for chickens, raccoons, and misbehaving young'uns. But when Henry Ford started slinging Model Ts like hotcakes, the shed got a makeover faster than a preacher's wife at a church picnic. Out went the hay, in came the horsepower. The garage was born, no longer just a stable, now a status symbol with oil stains and rusty dreams. And let me tell you, the garage had more ambition than a small-town mayor. First it sidled up to the house, then it latched on like a tick on a hound dog. Before you knew it, the front porch was gone and the garage was sitting out front puffing its chest like it paid the mortgage. Once upon a time, the porch was where you courted sweethearts, spied on neighbors, and cooled off after a long day of hoeing rows or herding opinions. It was the original reality show, only with fewer divorces and more lemonade. Those porches weren't just pretty. They were functional, like suspenders on Sunday pants. They shaded the house, caught a breeze, and gave folks a reason to sit down and talk about anything except politics and Aunt Mabel's biscuits. But then that infernal box called the air conditioner showed up, and poof, porches became ghost towns faster than a gold rush bust. Folks moved inside, shut the blinds, and started watching shows about people pretending to be neighbors instead of talking to their actual ones. Now, kitchens used to be hot, loud, and full of love, and the occasional mouse. You boiled, baked, and broiled until the wallpaper peeled and your eyebrows sweated off. But then someone decided we needed open-concept living, which, far as I can tell, means everything smells like onions and no one has privacy. Meanwhile, over yonder in Asia, kitchens are treated like a necessary evil. Tucked in a corner, sometimes outdoors, often next to a tank of propane the size of your regrets. Fridges sit next to dining tables like they're in time out. Drawers, optional, ovens, mythical. And don't get me started on the bathrooms. You shower with your toilet, you bathe with a ladle, and if you drop the soap, it's best to say a prayer and move on. Nowadays, houses don't welcome you. They warn you. Gated, barred, and locked up tighter than a debutante's diary. Folks live behind walls, glare through cameras, and haven't said howdy to a neighbor since Clinton played saxophone. The whole place feels less like Mayberry and more like Helm's Deep, minus the orcs, but plus an HOA board with more bylaws than sense. And what was once the den, where Grandma played dominoes and Grandpa told tall tales, is now a media center the size of a bowling alley, filled with screens, speakers, and the faint hum of people ignoring each other in HD. Buddy, if these walls could talk, they'd be yawning. So here we are, friends. From dog runs to digital dens, from porches to panic rooms, the house evolved from a humble homestead to a fortress of solitude. Somewhere along the way, we lost the front porch and maybe a bit of our humanity. But all is not lost. The soul of a house still lives in the laughter in the kitchen, the creak of a wooden step, the hiss of a kettle, and maybe, just maybe, that neighbor you've never said howdy to. So, turn off the AC, open a window, wave at someone. If they wave back, congrats, you're still living. This is Radio Farside signing off from the edge of reason and the front porch of memory. Please consider giving us a like, a subscribe, and a share down there below the video. We appreciate y'all stopping by for a chat. Y'all come back now, you hear?